वहाँ पे SD रैम है, तो यदि कंफ्यूजन है खाली रैम लिखो, NV लिखने का जरूरत ही नहीं है, हाँ SD लिखने का जरूरत ही नहीं है, लाइक दैट, बाकी सब सेम है, तो लाइक दैट. So this is also important question actually. Okay. Equipment ID, setting, power supply, TME. Okay. Right. I have given the program, how to program it also. And what I have given the indication, health indication. If it is blinking, what? If it is fast blinking, then what? If it is slow like that, slow blinking, what? So all the criteria I have taken in this part. So that this PowerPoint is sufficient if you go in a faulty area side, if you read, if you see the equipment and go to the PowerPoint indication on the TME, you can immediately tell what is the problem. Every time, by thumb rule हम बता दे रहा. यदि fast is dangerous, यदि fast blinking है, तो all failure है, याद रखो, main failure. और यदि slow blinking है, तो चलते रहेगा with problem. It is a remote failure is a slow blinking failure. Remote, मतलब दूसरा स्टेशन में failure हुआ, वो failure यहाँ पे replicate हो रहा है दूसरे स्टेशन, तो slow blinking रहा है, ठीक है ना बेटा? So I think we did. I think it is clear. Rahul, it is clear? हाँ, fast blinking होने से उसी स्टेशन का failure है, slow blinking होने से उसका आजू बाजू का failure है. समझा? यदि P1 में स्लो ब्लिंकिंग हो रहा, तो P1 जो स्टेशन से कनेक्टेड है उस स्टेशन में फेलियर है. ये फंडामेंटल रूल, ठीक है? यदि कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो हमसे मिले, हाँ, you can have my number and you can call me and you can. Okay, I prefer, I will give you on more because Corona time है, तो मैं number दे देता हूँ. Rahul is having my number. You can share among yourself. Okay? तो राहुल का पास मेरा नंबर है, तुम लोग शेयर कर लेना. And you can always ये क्या बोलते हैं WhatsApp me. Okay? So that after some time also in the class or if I busy with some other activity, just like आज एक प्रोग्राम है आज शाम को, so I will be not available. So like that tomorrow, anytime I am free, I will definitely revert you with the answer. ठीक है? So don't carry your doubt. Don't carry your. I will definitely help you.
अच्छा संजय.
Sir. Good morning, sir. बोलिए.
So just I think you are at end of your class or you are still.
And last question.
Okay, you can finish this. I just wanted to address that for a few minutes actually.
Okay, sir. The only last question is left now. So like that, one more question may ask like, what is the line diagram of Westfield marks and the function of mean or tributary card or mean and tributary card? Similarly, we can go for this side, PD marks of you can say Westfield marks. And you can see the NIM tributary diagram and you can see the NIM tributary function also. This is a block diagram. So what is the NIM card? NIM card, all the alarms are there. So show display of alarm. I've shown you there. What is the NIM card function? It is having a programmable feature. It is having a monitoring feature. It is having a diagnostic feature. इतना बोलने से NIM में, and details are also given. And some alarms are also there. So these alarms also, we can see that these alarms are क्या condition है. So what is the display of alarms and what is the significance of this alarm? So there are two alarms. One is the station alarm and another is the remote alarm for other station. The station alarm is remote failure is the station alarm. It pertains to that station only. LOS is the station alarm. It pertains to that station only. Rest of the alarms are remote alarm. I mean, it refers to the other station failure. Okay. troubleshooting is done in the web field marks. Okay, am I clear? So with that, we are coming to the end of the total discussion of two subjects, that is TCT2 and TCT3, with all the various type of questions, with all the various type of doubts. So, sir, will work.
Role, we require what is called TPC, PNC, so many things are required. You know, for voice circuits. Not only just control circuits, you may require some auto telephone circuits also for extending to your remote places. Or else we may require some, let us say, hotline circuits, especially between station master to station master, adjacent station masters. You know, for all those things. And not only this, we may require some data circuits also. So to extend PRS, UTS, or any other thing. So for all these things, we require some sort of multiplexing equipment to be available in each and every base station. So that equipment we call it as a PDH equipment. And in railways, we are using only the first order PDH equipment, that is at E1 level. So we are using only 2 Mbps equipments. We are not using E3 level and a third order. So third order we are not using, and fourth order E4 also we are not using. So when digital micro is there, that time we were using third order multiplexing because digital multiplexing 34 Mbps and all. But now as we are using only this first order multiplexing, that is E1, so which we call it as a PDH equipment. So there are various manufacturers are there. So when we have a PDH equipment, so it can come with the different varieties. So it can be a terminal mux. Terminal mux means only the output of the mux will be on one side, either A side or B side. You know, it doesn't have the other side. So normally your headquarter, divisional headquarter and all, they will have this terminal mux. Then drop insert mux. So drop insert mux where you can drop as well as insert. So this mux will have the output, that is a 2 Mbps output, because I am talking about the E1. So the 2 Mbps output will be, you can from either side, A side and B side. So this type of mux is normally used in the base station. Then another is drop insert mux with conference facility. So the conference facility is a one in which we are running our conference circuits, like your control line DOS. So they are conference. So conference, we have a full conference and semi-conference. All these things are there. So now let me tell that railways, we are always purchasing all drop insert mux only. We are not purchasing a specific terminal mux. Why? Because the drop insert mux can be made as a terminal mux by simply disabling the one side. So one side, because it will have A stream, B stream, and output of the mux will come as a stream and B stream, or tributary A, tributary B. Sorry. If one side is disabled, automatically it will become a terminal mux. So why we are purchasing? Because it becomes very easy. Suppose कोई station में हमारा terminal mux खराब हो गया, so that you cannot replace with a drop insert mux. और drop insert mux खराब हो गया, तो इसलिए हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? Drop insert mux can be made as a terminal mux, but terminal mux cannot be made as a drop insert mux. So that is reason to have a cushion. So what we are doing is we are always purchasing a drop insert mux. So even this mux can be higher order mux, as I told. It can be E3, E4, any of railways we are now using. So it is a one type of transmission equipment. So what type of transmission equipment? Because the mux output you can connect to the other station, but in railways what we are using, we are connecting our mux output of one station to the SDH equipment, because we require more and more high data rate. We want to transmit from one station to another station. So we are using using PDMux. Maximum we can have. What is the maximum capacity of the PDMux? Can anybody? E1 के बाद?
Somebody can come through chart or this one. E1 के बाद और क्या है? Next order. E1 के बाद? Puneet? E2, but normally E2 is commercially not used. E3 is a popular in railways earlier. E4 BSNL was using. But even with the E5 is also there, but it is internationally not standardized. So we are limiting our this PDS systems up to E4 only. Maximum E4. Okay, good. So, but thing is, this E4 also, what is the capacity? So 140 Mbps. E1 is a 2 Mbps, E3 is a 34 Mbps, E4 is a 140 Mbps. But 140 Mbps is also not enough. So because we require higher order multiplexing, that's why we go for SDH equipment. So means हमारा equipment PDMux का output we connect to the SDH. So PDMux का output we straight away not connect to the other station. PDMux का output we connect to the SDH, and SDH output we connect to, we will take through the OFC. Is it no? So this is media of transmission. Normally for the SDH is a OFC. For PDH we use a copper cable media of transmission. Okay, we call it as a PCM cables. Okay, so PCM cable is a type of cable where it is a braided one. So which is a very less losses are there. So that is a PCM cables we are using. So now this primary mux, as I told, it can be a terminal mux. So when this is a terminal mux, we have only one direction. We don't have the other direction. So your local channels, the local channels can be a omnibus channel like a control channels, or it can be a you can have a what is called auto phone connection, remote subscriber circuits, or it can have a your hotline circuits, or it can have a your data circuits up to 64 kbps, or in some special cases we can have a 2 mbps channel also, and this from the local channels. So it will be mapped to the your output. The output is a, let me take a pointer. The output is a 2 Mbps, exactly 2.048 Mbps. So we can call it the E1. So this we always sometimes we call it as a tributary to the tributary. तो ट्रिब्यूटरी ये इसका मतलब यहाँ डायरेक्शन ए का मतलब ट्रिब्यूटरी है because it is the terminal only we have only. So what you have to do, your local channels are mapped to this one. Local channels also, again, what is the local channel capacity? What is the each channel capacity? 64 kbps. That may be a voice channel or it can be a data channel. So this will be mapped to the one of the channel, but we don't call here channel. We call it as here. What we call in distributor में जो है उसको क्या करें क्या बोलेंगे हम लोग? What we call? We call it as a time slot. We call it as a time slot. So your local channel, which is 64 kbps, will be mapped or cross connected to one of the time slot. The time slot capacity कितना है? Time slot का capacity data rate कितना है? Each time slot. Somebody can it should be interact. I mean time slot. Rohit, Aditi, am I audible? Time slot is 64 kbps. Time slot is also 64 kbps. Time slot is a 64 kbps. Is it now? Simple. Whenever you have to map with the same capacity. You cannot change, no? Because your input is 64 kbps, you have to map to the one of the 64 kbps time slot. So इस तरह से हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? Your local channel is mapped to one of the time slot, and that time slot is sent to this 2 Mbps. So this 2 Mbps will have how many time slots? How many time slots are there within the 2 Mbps? 2 Mbps is one frame, no? इसके अंदर में 32 time slot. Yes, good. Out of 32 time slot number 0 is used for what? For time slot 0 is used for? Yes, frame alignment word, or it can be non-frame alignment word. Both the things are there. Frame alignment word will be sent in the all even frames. Non-frame alignment will be sent to all odd frames. Right. And time slot 16 is used for signaling purpose. Right. So out of leaving these two, we have a 30. So what we are doing is your local channel will be cross connected or mapped to one of the time slot. Then after mapping, whether you are sending towards the direction A or towards the direction B, like that. So if it is a terminal mux, here we have only one direction. So that's why used when terminal station where only one outgoing tributary in one direction, that is direction A, will be there. So that is called terminal mux. तो mux में क्या क्या होता है? Terminal mux होता है या drop insert. Now you see the second case, it is a drop insert mux. So here you say we have a direction A, we have a direction E. So here again your local channel again 64 kbps. That 64 kbps can be a voice channel or it can be a data channel. Now the question is where you want to map. You want to map to the direction A. तो इसका मतलब यहाँ भी टाइम स्लॉट कितना होगा? ये भी 2.048 और ये भी 2.048, right? So if you want to mapping this side, तो यहाँ भी कितना टाइम स्लॉट है? Time slots are total 32, but as far as our information time slots are only 30. So you have to map to the one of the time slot. If you want to map to send this side, here also how many time slots are there? 32 time slots are there, but out of 30 are used. So you have to map one of the time slot. So there is this direction. But if I want a omnibus channel like a control, so which is coming here. So your local channel, so it is mapped to this time slot is mapped to this local channel. This time slot, the same channel will be mapped to the either direction because it has to go to both the direction. Is it now? And at the same time through also. So this is called conference. Okay. Anyhow, next slide में हम लोग बताएंगे. Is it clear? What is mean by the here? What you have to we are discussing. What is mean by terminal mux? What is mean by drop insert mux? So used at intermediate stations where two outgoing tributaries either direction A, direction B. Any drop insert mux can be used as a terminal mux. Simply disabling, like मैं बता रहा था, simply disabling other direction tributary. By using drop insert mux, it becomes very easy to interchange and replace the defective mux so that it becomes economical. That is the reason in railways we are purchasing all the drop insert mux. Requirement of primal mux. So it should be possible to drop any channel. तो आपका जो मक्स जा रहा है, जो मक्स जब खरीदेंगे, this mux should have certain features, है ना? Certain features it should have. What type of feature? It should possible to drop channels from the corresponding time slot in even frame. So any time slot can be dropped or any time slot can be inserted. So like that. So to facilitate drop insert at time slot level, this should be feasible to both direction at intermediate station, right? So it should be possible to VF channels in conference mode. So VF channels हम लोग conference mode के लिए, because railway में conference is very important, so especially for control and all. And it should also possible data के लिए 64, voice के लिए 64 is more than enough, but data के लिए 64 enough है क्या? You may require more data rate. You may require 128 kbps. You may require 384 kbps. आप वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहा है तो मिनिमम 384 kbps है ये, but qualities may not be good. You may require some 564 kbps. You know, in that case, you should have the facility where I can multiplex n into 64. N can be a 1, n can be 2, n can be 3, or n can be a maximum of 30 also. So in that case, it's this type of facility also should have in your PD months. So it should be possible to create spurling. So even sometimes, what is meant by spurling? You have a junction station, okay, like Nagpur. So Nagpur is a junction station. So where we are having one side Secunderabad side, other side Delhi side, है ना? So other side Bilaspur side, है ना? So other side you may have what is called a Nagpur or something like that. So in that case, you may have one spurling, इधर से जो marks आ रहा है वो marks इसके साथ भी काम करना चाहिए. So that means we should have the facility called branching. So that we call it even branching, or it may be a third direction also. And it should be possible to provide your digital subscriber loop. So आपका DSL है ना, तो आपका तो ISDN एक्चुअली, तो आपका ISDN कनेक्ट करने का भी फैसिलिटी होना चाहिए. So these are all the some of the requirements of this one. It should possible to program. देखिए जब एक बार mux लगा दिया, so when you want to configure, because initially you have to do the configuration, so it should have the feature of configuration from a remote place using a network. So like it should able to have a facility of having NMS feature. We call it as NMS, but NMS is a very high word, so it is a very high-end system. Normally, you should have the configuration facility also there. That is, it should be programmable. It doesn't mean that only initially some programming, afterwards you cannot do. At any point of time, If you want to change anything, any configuration, it should have this. It should at the same time, it should display some alarms. Just now, Sanjay Bhattacharya was telling about the alarms and all. The alarms will give you alertness. Alarms will give you alertness. So when alertness comes, you can able to restore the failure at faster rate. Is it no? So that's why there should be alarms should display so that we will take some course of action. It should be possible to monitor the performance of the equipment in terms of parameter. Now यहाँ पे क्या है parameter? So that is called preventive measures like error seconds. There are certain parameters are there. You should able to monitor BER. आपका bit error rate बढ़ रहा है. तो ये है so that you can take some course of action. So higher order mux. So PDS links on Indian Railway maximum 34 Mbps, but now we are not using up to even only BSNL 140. Higher order mux using Indian Railways is 234 skip mux वो भी नहीं है anyhow. तो यहाँ दिया गया anyhow उसको जरूरत नहीं है. तो now transmission ये mux का output आप 2 GHz डिजिटल UHF में भी भेज सकते हो या 7 GHz माइक्रो anyhow ये दो भी अभी नहीं है. So earlier we are having 8 Mbps OLTE equipment, but now they are replacing with SDA. तो फाइनली कहने का है आपका जो PD मक्स जो जिस स्टेशन में है, चाहे वो टर्मिनल स्टेशन हो, चाहे वो इंटरमीडिएट स्टेशन हो, this output normally 100% we are connecting to the SDH equipment. तो कहने का क्या है आपका PD मक्स का आउटपुट what you are doing is you are connecting to the SDH equipment. That SDH equipment will be connected to the OFC. From there it will go to the next station. So this is the way. So media of transmission. So it can work with UHF, microwave. Anyhow we are not using. It can even connect to your cable also. Using SDSL modem also you can transmit and even connect your this output to your 6 quad cable also you can connect. But normally we are not using all these things. We are connecting to the OFC. Our PD mux output is always connected to the OFC. Right. So if you see the basic PDS drop insert mux, so just now I discussed as a black diagram. It is somewhat more self-explanatory. So here you have a mux. So here it can be electrical input and output normally mux. So you are coming from direction A and here another mux. Actually it is a one mux only, but as a diagram we are showing. So all these things are one unit only. So the second from other side also through electrical interface it is coming and then it can be PCM interface VMux or you can have a different cards. तो देखिए हमारे पास जो PDMux का इक्विपमेंट है अलग-अलग मैन्युफैक्चरर है. तो मैन्युफैक्चरर कैन बी ए वेबफील that is West Bengal वाला West Bengal इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स वाला वेबफील हो सकता है. पंजाब पनकॉम पंजाब कम्युनिकेशन वाला भी हो सकता है. और इट कैन बी earlier we are using Nokia mux Nokia का है. अब कुछ जगह में Crompton Philips भी है. These are all the some of the muxes that are generally used. But nowadays very popular either we are using Webfield or we are using VMux Pancom versatile mux. VMux मतलब versatile mux है ना. So now earlier we are using Nokia but Nokia is slowly they are replacing with either Pancom mux or Webfield mux, but now Pancom mux is very popular. After this one, so it will go to the cross connection switch. It is a basic building of your this one. तो उसके लिए आपको नोकिया में X2 कार्ड बोला जाता था, यहाँ पे अभी क्रॉस कनेक्शन कार्ड बोला जाएगा, है ना, like that. And after this cross connection, these are your user interface. Just now I told it can be a voice interface or it can be a data interface. So once it comes after doing cross connection, either you can send it to direction A or direction B, or you can configure as a fully conference or semi conference or whatever. So any mux, whether irrespective of the make, whether it is a Nokia mux, whether it is a Pancom mux, whether it is a VBM or Webfield mux, what should be the mux should have? It should have some processor card. It should have some primer card. So processor is the main because everything is today now we are doing using microprocessor and software. So your processor should have primer card. Primer card का मतलब frame बनाएगा. जो 2 Mbps का frame है, अगर even mux है, E3 mux है तो 34 Mbps का mux है, primer है. या अगर E4 मक्स है 140 MBPS का फ्रेम बनाना पड़ेगा, है ना? So like that. So processor card, primer card and your user VF interface card. तो वॉइस के लिए VF इंटरफेस और डेटा के लिए डेटा इंटरफेस कार्ड, यही होगा. इसके अलावा पावर सप्लाई, दैट्स हर हार्डवेयर में आपको पावर सप्लाई इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो पावर सप्लाई इज ऑलवेज वेरी वाइटल. So without power supply, no equipment will work. And you let me tell that most of our equipments, whether it is a PD mux or SDH mux, our equipments are very robust. Most of the time equipment will not failure. The most of the time the problem will come with the power supply. अगर आप power supply properly maintain करेंगे, तो mostly your equipments will work beyond its codal life also. Practically we have seen, है ना? So that is the reason power supply is very very vital. So that is the reason power supply is always given in redundancy. तो एक फेल हो गए तो दूसरा फेल होगा. But remaining things may not be redundancy. Processor card may not be redundancy. Primer card may not be in redundancy. Voice cards not necessary should have a redundancy. So different manufacturer give their different names. Name अलग है. कोई प्रोसेसर कार्ड को एक कंपनी कुछ अलग नाम से बोलेगा, फ्रेम कार्ड को अलग एक कंपनी अलग से नाम बोलेगा, वीएफ कार्ड को एक नाम कार्ड एक कंपनी अलग बोलेगा. इंटरफेस कार्ड्स कम्स विथ एक इंटरफेस कार्ड. यहाँ पे इंटरफेस कार्ड यह है. इंटरफेस कार्ड कैन बी ए वॉइस कार्ड और इट कैन बी ए डेटा कार्ड, है ना? तो नाउ एक वॉइस कार्ड में कितना सर्किट रहेगा? सो सम विल हैव 2 सर्किट्स, some will have 4 circuits, some manufacturer will have 6 circuits. So most of the time nowadays, either if you take Webfield or Funcom, they will come with standard of 4 circuits. मतलब एक वॉइस कार्ड के अंदर में कितना सर्किट रहेगा? 4 सर्किट. तो एक वॉइस कार्ड एक स्टेशन में लगा है, मतलब आप मैक्सिमम कितना वॉइस सर्किट दे सकते हो? 4 वॉइस सर्किट. या एक डेटा कार्ड एक स्टेशन में लगाएंगे. आई एम यूजिंग लॉट ऑफ हिंदी. Any problem? If anybody is not understood, so please you can raise their use mix-up language or say English. Is it no? Right? Okay? Yes or no? Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why you people are not using chat? अब तो chatting बहुत करते हैं, है ना? So please use the chat. So time to time, yes, no, something. It should be interactive, no? Please. Okay, right. So 4 circuits. Most of them they are 4 circuits. This admin means who? If you know, is it batch prefect? Rahul. Okay, it is Rahul. Okay, good, good Rahul. Right. So 4 circuits. Even for data also. Yes, I am coming. So baby cards and all. Now I have gone. Not baby cards are nothing but. So now Naveen, good. So in Webfield we could use baby cards or child cards. So why? Because एक voice circuit में 4 voice circuit तो होगा. All the 4 may be same type or it can be different. In Funcom, all the 4 circuits are similar type. So what type of circuit? Or it can be a hotline circuit. अगर आप ले लिए एक स्टेशन में कार्ड लगाया, in Funcom, all the 4 circuits are only same type, hotline. Or all the 4 circuits may be exchange interface. All the 4 circuits may be a subscriber interface. But in Webfield, so you have a facility. One circuit may be a hotline, other circuit may be a exchange interface, other circuit may be a control circuit. So this facility is there only in Webfield. So this each one means your main voice circuit is a voice card, okay, from PCB card. So Funcom में क्या होगा? All the 4, okay, these are 4 different channels. All the 4 are same type. This is in Funcom. You cannot have a different. But in Webfield, जो वेस्ट बंगाल वाला है, वो लोग क्या किया? इसके अंदर में भी 4 सर्किट है. So this card can be a E&M card used for control purpose. This card can be a subscriber card. You can use for remote subscriber. This card can be used for exchange interface. This card can be used for hotline. So this facility is there. So these individual, मतलब एक मेन कार्ड के अंदर में छोटा छोटा कार्ड है, इसको बोलते हैं बेबी कार्ड. Anyhow, very good, Mr. Naveen. Okay, but that facility only available only in webfield equipment, not Funcom or any other. Okay, right. So now we go ahead. So processor card, एक card का देखेंगे. So what is the processor card? There's the name indicating. Primarily takes care of alarm acquisition function coming from various internal, external sources and respond to the queries. तो आपका जो NMS query कैसे आएगा? आप इक्विपमेंट को कुछ पूछेगा भाई इसको करना है तो दिस विल कम फ्रॉम द एनएमएस or maybe from your local craft terminal. No. So all these things are taken care by your processor. So it is a main processor which will totally taken care the control of your entire equipment. So this is called processor card. तो इसके लिए अलग अलग इक्विपमेंट में अलग अलग नाम है. तो आपका जो वेबफील्ड में है इसका नाम है नीम कार्ड, नेटवर्क इंटरफेस मॉड्यूल. ये है आपका वेबफील्ड प्रोसेसर कार्ड इज पार्ट ऑफ दिस पार्ट. बट आपका जो पनकाम है, पनकाम में इट इज ए व्हाट इज कॉल्ड टीएमई कार्ड. इट्स गुड Mr. Verma, good like that. So different function. So processor card, then primer card. तो primer card क्या है? It is a extract the master clock. तो master clock coming from the next station. तो incoming 2 Mbps में you all of you know हम लोग हमारा डिजिटल में हमारा जो डेटा है, हमारा यूजर डेटा है, that we will send on the clock, is it not? So आप clock को extract किया मतलब आपका डेटा भी आएगा. तो it will first to tape is any equipment. तो जैसे ही आपका एक स्टेशन से जो इंफॉर्मेशन आ रहा है, फ्रेम केस आ रहा है, उसमें से पहले बार क्या करना है? पहले क्लॉक को एक्सट्रैक्ट करना है ना? तो आपका इनकमिंग क्लॉक एक्सट्रैक्ट करो और आपका लोकल क्लॉक के साथ उसका मैचिंग करो, देन यू कैन यूज दिस वन. तो दिस इज ए मेथड ऑफ वर्किंग इन द डिजिटल, चाहे वो पीडीएच हो चाहे एसडीएच हो. तो आफ्टरवर्ड्स व्हाट इज डूइंग इज it is a cross connecting a 64 kbps digital data along with signaling data, perform PCM summing. तो ये framer क्या करता है? all the जो input से आपका जो user data channel आ रहा है and that is cross connected to one of the time slot. उसके बाद इसको sum करेगा and it will summing the conference channel, all these things, and एक frame बनाएगा and that frame is sent in either direction based on the what type of marks. This is a primer card. तो इसका और क्या काम है? It generates the 2 Mbps internal TDM bus for channel units, generates 2 Mbps SDB3 coded. You all of you know line coding PCM जो PDMux PCM principle में आपको एक आता है. The last one is a line coding. So line coding is the one. So using this one, so whatever your PDMux का जो PCM principle से mux बनता है, your 64 kbps and further it becomes 2 Mbps. So before connecting to the media, so it is undergoes a line coding. So line coding will enable you the basic what is called saving of bandwidth. है ना? Unnecessarily it will use within the available bandwidth and आपका error detection का facility भी देता है line coding and आपका जो DC component है उसको खत्म कर देगा. All these things and we use what type of line coding for 2 Mbps SDB3, even 34 Mbps के भी हम लोग SDB3 use करते हैं as far as even is concerned. So generates 2 Mbps SDB3 encoded interface signal complying with ITU-T G703, collect and analyze equipment and line faults, take a necessary action. ये सब आपका framer card होता है. Control jitter to a limit. So jitter is one of the undesirable thing in the data. And in the data in the digital communication, jitter is always there. So it is defined under the ITU-T standard G823. So jitter कैसे कम करेगा? So jitter is always inevitable. ये तो रहेगा. So only you have to limit this one. So using what is called filter circuits. तो आपका equipment framer card के अंदर में filter circuit है. So which will reduce the jitter probability. And again it will report to the NMS network interface module for alarm status and all, support communication channel. So now thing is for monitoring from the headquarter and all, you require some NMS. NMS तो है, तो NMS को आने के लिए NMS में जो data आएगा उसके लिए what you require certain bits. So what for where we are using in the PDMux NMS का bits कहाँ रहता है? TS0 network monitoring and control. तो नेटवर्क बिट्स आपको TH 0 में होता है, तो टाइम स्लॉट नंबर 0 में होता है, एंड ऑल कौन सा फ्रेम, इवन फ्रेम, ऑड फ्रेम, टाइम स्लॉट 0 ऑफ ऑल, कैन एनीबॉडी टेल कौन सा फ्रेम में होगा, फ्रेम और इवन फ्रेम, ऑड फ्रेम, नॉट इवन फ्रेम, ऑड फ्रेम. Even frame is used only for fa. Am I correct? And odd frame is n fa. N fa में हमारा जो fourth bit है, that bit is used for your this one. Verma, Ravi Verma. Tell something. Verma. It is an odd frame, not even frame. Yes. Right. Like that. So now type of interface. जो भी कार्ड हो क्या क्या होगा, 2 wire E&M or 4 wire E&M. These two cards we use for our control circuit. ये कार्ड हम किस लिए यूज करते हैं, कंट्रोल. तो कंट्रोल कैन बी 2 wire or 4 wire. So 2 wire control generally used in non-RE area, but nowadays nowhere we are using this one. Even non-RE area also we are using the OFC and all. Everywhere using 4 wire E&M only. We are using only 4 wire E&M. है ना? So this particular card, so there is a no separate card for 2 wire or 4 wire. As a physical it is only the one card. Only you can configure either 2 wire or 4 wire. तो वेब फील में क्या है, आपको जंपर सेट करना पड़ता है. जंपर, देयर इज सम jumpering set में there in the web field, whereas Funcom you can set whether 2 wire or 4 wire using the NMS. Then 2 wire subscriber loop or 2 wire exchange loop. So this particular card we are using for our remote subscriber circuit. What is meant by remote subscriber circuit? तो आपका जो main exchange का number you can extend to the remote. Then there is a hotline is also there. तो hotline में क्या है, आपका dialing नहीं होता है. So these are the different type of voice. तो voice में क्या होगा, either hotline होगा या remote subscriber होगा या control होगा. तो total कितना type का voice circuit होगा, control circuit, remote subscriber circuit और hotline. तो इसके लिए हम लोगों को पास or it can be, है ना. So as far as card is concerned, we may have E&M card, we may have exchange interface card, we may have subscriber interface card. तो 3 टाइप का कार्ड हो सकता है ना, like that. Then as far as data interface is concerned, so data can be a 64 kbps data. So most popular, this also called as G703 card. Is also called as G703 card in the this one, and it can be n into 64. I told. So earlier video conference के लिए I require more than 64 kbps. You can use n, and you can have even branching interface. So this particular card is used for your third direction. So junction station में third direction के लिए केवल use करेंगे. And then you can have digital subscriber line. क्या बोल रहा है नवीन, एक मिनट, रोहित. सर प्लीज टेल डिफरेंस बिटवीन सब्सक्राइबर एंड एक्सचेंज. हाँ, सो देखिए बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है. सपोज मान लीजिए ये पीडी मक्स है, ये है आपका सिकंदराबाद, और सिकंदराबाद के बाद नेक्स्ट ये है आपका इट इज अ स्टेशन कार्ड मौलाली. देन आपको मान लीजिए ये है आपका Ghatkesar. These are the some of the stations. Right. Now I want to provide a hotline between Secunderabad to Ghatkesar. Okay, right? And I may require one more station. Let us say this is a Bongiri. I want to provide this Secunderabad number at the Bongiri. तो सिकंदराबाद में एक्सचेंज है, तो नॉर्मली सिकंदराबाद में जैसे फोन उठाएगा तो सिकंदराबाद एक्सचेंज का डायल टोन आएगा. नाउ दिस डायल टोन आई वांट टू एक्सचेंज टू द बोरगिरी बीबी. ओके, so in that case what is thing is I will configure the सिकंदराबाद में exchange interface कार्ड लगाएगा. This exchange interface will extend this सिकंदराबाद number this one. और बोनगिरी में क्या कार्ड होएगा, subscriber interface card. So that the moment you configure, the Bongiri will get the dial tone of the Secunderabad. He can dial the number of this one. This is called subscriber interface. And मतलब उसमें क्या हुआ, exchange interface at Secunderabad and subscriber interface card at Bongiri. Now next question क्या था, one hotline between Secunderabad to Ghatkesar. तो सिकंदराबाद में कौन सा कार्ड होगा? सब्सक्राइबर इंटरफेस कार्ड. एंड घटकेसर में भी कौन सा कार्ड होगा? सब्सक्राइबर इंटरफेस कार्ड. So for hotline at both the places I require subscriber interface card. But remote subscriber के लिए क्या होगा? सिकंदराबाद में exchange interface रहेगा और आपका भुवनगिर में subscriber interface रहेगा. So using this one you can create remote subscriber. Using this you can create hotline. Is it clear, Rahul? Rohit? What is this? Right now. तो नाउ देखिए क्या कार्ड होगा. मैं कॉमन डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ. 2 by 4 by E&M interface. For 4 by E&M interface, the voice is extended through a pair of balanced line for both transmit and receive. Okay. तो नॉर्मली क्या होगा 4 by के लिए? तो नॉर्मली when you see the PD marks, इसको जो चैनल हम दे रहा है, the channel will have 6 pair of wires. Every channel will have 6 pair of wires. So one pair is for trans and the second pair is for receive, third pair is for signaling. That signaling is mostly E&M. Does it come? So if it is a 2-wire circuit, we use only trans pair. If it is a 4-wire circuit, you require trans and receive. If you want with signaling also, you may require third pair. So total 6 pairs चाहिए. One pair for trans, another pair for receive, another pair for E&M. But nowadays, for signaling, we are not using E&M signaling. We are using what is called DTMF signaling. So in control, everywhere we are using DTMF signaling. So which is a in-band signaling. In-band का मतलब है within your voice band. So that is the reason I don't require this signaling pair. So provision तो दिया गया, but practically we are not using. So we are using only trans and receive. So if it is a 2-wire circuit, like a hotline is a 2-wire circuit, your remote subscriber is a 2-wire circuit. So we use only trans pair. Remaining 2 pairs we are not at all using. But if it is a control circuit, so control is a 4-wire circuit, we may use trans pair, receive pair. So signaling pair is normally not used nowadays once this DTMF is coming. So is it clear? And the impedance is, because it's a voice circuit, the impedance is 600 ohms. So signaling is provided by separate E and M leads. So like whenever you are using E and M signaling, but as we are not using E and M signaling, we don't require this one. So then next is 2-wire 4-wire interface. तो आपको 2-wire है तो 2-wire, 4-wire है तो 4-wire. आपको यूजर इक्विपमेंट नॉर्मल एक्सटेंड. So यहाँ पे he is talking about the E&M signaling. What is E&M signaling? Air and mount. So earth, no earth signaling. Is it not? So like that, for 2-wire interface voice, both the trans and receive is fed through outgoing transformer, because you don't know whether there is a 2-wire circuit, whether it is a 4-wire circuit. So conversion of 2-wire to 4-wire, 4-wire to wire is done by a hybrid circuit. इसलिए आपका कार्ड में वॉइस कार्ड में हाइब्रिड रहेगा. आप चाहिए तो उसको यूज कर सकते हो थ्रू सॉफ्टवेयर. इज इट नॉट? देन सब्सक्राइबर इंटरफेस. द सब्सक्राइबर इंटरफेस इज नॉर्मली यूज्ड फॉर एक्सटेंडिंग अ वॉइस टू द पॉट. पॉट्स का मतलब है आपका एक्सचेंज, प्लेन और टेलीफोन सर्किट इसको बोलता है. So it is used for subscriber used for a voice. In this interface, both signaling and voice is sent over on one pair of trans. है ना? ट्रांस पेयर में ही आपका ट्रांस सिग्नलिंग है, वॉइस यूज करेगा. द यूनिट प्रोवाइड्स टॉक करंट फ्रॉम द प्राइमरी. ओके, हुक कंडीशन. ओके, whenever a voice circuit is there, so off hook, on hook condition, these pulses are to be sent, because we are using a loop is detected normally in the this one. So this is the subscriber interface. As well as your data interface. So data interface, the card का नाम है G703. So 164 kbps data card cater पर 264 co-directional का मतलब है your data is sent in within the synchronous method. Is it not? तो इसके लिए जो चिप है वो चिप का नाम ये है. Anyhow, these are the details. XT6164 is the chip used for your what is called data circuit. And as far as the ITUT standard is there, so G703 is the ITUT standard. So this can be a 64 kbps, but using a special card, if you require N into 64, so normal card is supports only 64 kbps. But if you want N into 64, you require a separate hardware. So where it can be, N can be anything that you can configure from the software, but the card should have the facility of N into 64. So which is normally not rarely used, and you may have separate card for even branching. It creates third tributary by cross connecting the required time slot from PCM. So this is generally used for base junction station. Why this particular card third direction? To save the unnecessarily cost. If you are using a separate mux for other direction, there is no use of this one. But you want to save one mux instead of using a separate, because which is a costly. Mux is around more than 1.5 2 lakhs cost. To overcome this cost, you can use this even branching card for direction to the Spurlink. A small third direction में है ना, तो उस टाइम में यूज कर सकते हो. Then digital subscriber line module, it is for extending to ISDN using U interface 2B plus 1D. So this is a what is called B1 है ना. So it is used for ISDN purpose. So there you require, as I told, N into 64 is designed to extend to the WAN-based data network, where you require V35 modem to be connected, so that you can get a maximum of N into this one maximum 1920 kbps, approximately up to 2 Mbps in extend connection, or it can be N can be any number N from 1 to 30. तो डेटा रिफ्रेश. तो फाइनली इसके बोल के हम खत्म करेंगे. पावर सप्लाई, तो नॉर्मली इन railways we use minus 48 volt supply. This is standard. All telecom equipments are minus 48, but really our cards doesn't require minus 48. So using this one, using internally DC-DC converter, we'll get one plus 5 volts, plus 10 volts, plus 12 volts, plus 80 volts. What is this 80 volts? It requires for your ringing purpose, रिंगिंग के लिए, बिकॉज वी आर यूजिंग रिमोट सब्सक्राइबर. रिमोट सब्सक्राइबर हम लोग क्या है, हमारा एक्सचेंज का नंबर दूर दूर तरह का जगह में रिंग करने के लिए यूज कर रहा है, इसलिए हमको चाहिए ये 80 वोल्ट सीज फॉर रिंगिंग पर्पज. अदरवाइज फॉर नॉर्मल प्रैक्टिकल पर्पज you may require 12 volts, 10 volts or 5 volts. So these are the different outputs that are generated mutually isolated with each other, and this card will have the protection, under voltage protection, over voltage protection, all these things, all these precautions are taken, and this power supply card is normally in redundant. तो यहाँ बोल के मैं खत्म करूंगा. क्या क्या पीडीएच इक्विपमेंट हम लोग यूज करते हैं. तो VMUX 100 versatile mux. VMUX मतलब versatile mux, which is nothing but a programmable mux, because before this versatile we have having non-programmable mux. That is the reason जब से प्रोग्रामिंग है उनका नाम दे दिया उन्होंने VMUX. So VMUX 30 was a older version. Now VMUX 100 is a high-end version. And WebFill, we call it the flexible mux. Why it is called flexible? Just now somebody was asking, sir, baby card. तो ये कार्ड के अंदर में 4 सेम सर्किट होना है, बट आपका वेबफिल में क्या किया, वो अलग अलग कार्ड भी लगा सकते. So there is a flexibility you are getting. So that's why it is also called WebFill FlexiMux, है ना. Then another is a Nokia Mux, which is a very popular previously, but now mostly we are using our this VMux as well as WebMux. They are our indigenous manufactured within this. Nokia Mux is a this one foreign country, and mostly Nokia Mux, they are not getting much support from the manufacturer. So that is the reason slowly we are replacing all these things. And Skip Mux earlier we are using. So to skip from 2 Mbps straight away to 34, skipping 8 Mbps, that is also not used. So mostly used is either WebFill or Puncom. And in Puncom, the high-end version is VMUX 100 and older version is VMUX 30. But now we are using. So this is with this I can close my class for lunch session. So next class may be given in the next week, and you can go in the second half for the cultural activity and all. Okay, thank you. Shall I close the session? Yes, somebody can say yes. Okay, right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.